Hi guys, welcome to Learn Electronics Repair. This is a tablet that was brought into me like this by a friend, Yuri, who's recently opened a computer repair shop. He's brought me a few things before, seems to be getting more often, and he has this, well, this is the back from it, it's an Apple iPad. Let's see which one. A1474, okay, and he brought this thing with it. So this is a, well, it's a USB-C socket. We can see there's one there. This fits into here. I have to assume that the socket is faulty, and the original one we can see goes underneath this little PCB here. Yeah, it goes on the other side of here. And he bought a replacement, and this is the replacement. Now, it's like a flexible thing. It doesn't have a connector on it. I can't imagine this is easy to solder though. And it goes behind here, so I'm going to have to take this little board out to have a look to see how this one actually fits, and he wants me to change it for this one. So that's the job that I need to do. The question is, well, how do I do it? Because I've not done this before. But let's have a look. Well, I've had a look to see how to do this because I've not done it before. So yeah, that's probably why you're watching this as well. The guy who brought this in, Yuri, has already removed these connectors here and here. So this has been done already. So I need to remove this cable, which comes along here and is soldered, and it is soldered under here. And now I need to solder the replacement onto there. So this is going to be another test of my micro soldering skills, yeah. I need to get these two wires, which are the Wi-Fi ones, off the cable. This is something Yuri hasn't done. Apparently a little bit of heat will help with this. I've turned my hot air down to about 150. Obviously I'm holding it a little bit of a distance away, so just give us a bit of a warm, and let's see how easily this adhesive wants to give it up. I'm not sure what the ideal temperature is, but I'm sure with a bit of trial and error we'll get it, and that seems to be working okay. So that was 120 on maximum airflow. Sorry, 150 on maximum airflow. And I'm using the Quick 861DW hot air. Your results may vary. Yeah. So that's that off. That came off quite well. So now there's some other connectors up here. I think this might be one, and there's one under here. So let's have a look. No, not, well, there may be one under here. Yeah, that just lifts up. So that one was easy. That's off, okay. There's one here. Let's have a look. What do we see? I'll just go gentle at this, guys. I've not done it before, as I mentioned it. Yeah, there's a little connector under here. Okay. So we'll stick that on there somewhere so we don't lose it. Is this one that lifts up? Looks like a kind of a lift up type. Or does it just clip out? Well, there's the connector. I'm thinking there might be something that lifts on this one. Yeah, there. Okay. So that should come out. Yep. Okay, so that one is out. Now I've got this thing. here. I'll warm this up a little bit again. Okay. It's warm to the touch, not hot. Now let's have a look. So this looks like a connector. Yep, that is a connector. So that needs to come off. Let's have a look what we have here. This feels just like adhesive to me. Ah, that kind of clicked. No, that was just adhesive, so that's nothing. And then we have this, which is under here. A bit more heat. Can we get this off? Yeah, oh, this heat definitely helps, guys. It makes it much easier. It just comes off without damaging the tape. So that's a good setting for the hot air, from what I've found. Okay, let's just get something a bit flat on that so we don't poke holes in it. Okay, so that's off. So this thing then kind of lift off or something. It's like a plastic, yeah, something like this. Yeah, that just kind of lifts off. So how is this attached to here? It just glue? There's no connector under here. Okay. Just this. Oh, yeah, there it is. Right, okay, I've got it now. So that I don't need to lift actually. Okay, learn from my error there. The PCB ends here. And there's another little connector here. That's it. So we should be able to get this PCB out now. There shouldn't be anything else holding this in. Apparently it is glued, and the way to do this is to heat it up, put an actual fat on this one. It's just coming. Let's get this connector loose here. So this we push in apparently here somewhere. Get this tape out of the way. Let's see. Yeah, the connector's coming out. There. Okay, so that's out. Is this all free down here? Yeah, a bit of tape. So that's out. These will be some of the ones that Yuri already removed. Okay. So let's have a look. Get under the edge of this. Yeah, and the board's just coming out. It's just lifting up. I can do it easily with my finger actually. I'll just zoom out a little bit. There you go. Yeah, I can lift that easily. So yeah, that's just coming. This is free. Oh, okay, this is stuck. Let's just warm this area up. Okay, that's right. So it's flexing, I'm not sure how much I should allow that to flex, so I'll just go very gentle with it. There's something stuck. Yeah, there you probably heard it. I felt it. So if I can get under the edge of this. This is quite stuck here somewhere. Yeah, that's it. It's just adhesive. I'm just fighting the adhesive a little bit. There. Okay. That's free. I'll put something under this. Just to stop it sticking back down again. There we go. Right. What else do we have? Something here. Adhesive again. Okay. And it's out. Okay, so there's our board. Didn't flex too much. These must be the terminals that connect to the battery from there, I'm guessing. Okay. And now we need to figure out how to change this. Here is our motherboard then, nicely removed. Okay. Nothing appears to be damaged there. That's good. So I need to take this flex cable off from the charging port, the lightning port, apparently not USB-C as I called the thing earlier, which shows you about as much as I know about Apple products. Yeah. And we need to fit this one, and that's going to be fun. Remember guys, you're not watching an expert here. I've never done this, yeah. But I do think this is a useful skill to learn, so I'm going to go for it. And the only way you can really learn this, by the way, is doing it. I mean, okay, I've watched a few people on YouTube. You're watching me on YouTube to get the basic principle of how to do it, but that's not quite the same as actually doing it. That just gives you the sequence of steps, yeah, you need them. That will give you the sequence of steps you need to take, but you have to take the steps, and nobody else can take them for you. So the only way to learn this, guys, is to do it. If you're afraid to do it, then it's not for you. Yeah. It's like the dental practice. I mean, I don't want to go to a dental practice. I want to go to somebody who actually knows how to do it already. Yeah. But in this case, I am practicing. So if I get this right, I'm sure I can get quite a bit more work from Yuri. And if I get this wrong, well, hopefully I don't lose a friend. So that's off. We can see like a load of pads here. Let's look at the replacement one. Oh, it has holes in it. I think this has holes in, yeah. Can you see them? That has holes in as well. I'll get under the microscope, give you a closer look. This is my Aneng Star microscope, by the way. I will be using the Tomlov TM4K that I reviewed early this week, about a week ago. I'm waiting for one of the new flexible arms that fit that microscope to come to see if it works better on my bench, because I don't have much bench space, unfortunately. But this is working well enough for now. We can actually see what we have. So yeah, you can see the solder basically comes through the holes. So that's how it sticks down. Now, to get this off apparently is not difficult. We just use hot air. The more tricky part is sticking the new one back on. So let's go with the next step, which is supposed to be easy, and let's remove this. Okay, so I'm going to use my little top off an old satellite receiver that I always use when I'm soldering, but I was a bit concerned that this PCB might move around. So this is a little clamp that Detlef gave me from AliExpress. It's actually a small bench vise. I have a much larger one, but I'm going to use this and the piece of cloth that you can see just to protect the PCB, like so. I'm just going to gently wind this down. You can see I'm doing it with one finger. I feel a bit of pressure now, but that board's not going to go anywhere, so this is not tight, because I can easily move it with a finger, but that is clamped. And that means this won't move around, or hopefully, so that's going to make life a lot easier, or so I think. There is my connector. I'm going to try adding some flux to that. I honestly don't know whether it's going to help, but I certainly don't think it's going to hurt. So just generally, because there are holes in it, we know there are holes in it, so I'm thinking maybe the flux will kind of go through the holes with a bit of luck and try to get some down the edge, but whether it'll go under I really don't know. Let's try warming that up a little bit. So I'll turn the heating up on the hot air. I'm now at 450, which is what I normally use, but obviously I won't hold the hot air gun directly against that, so the real temperature will be a bit lower from a distance. I'll just try and see if I can get some of this to go under. As I say, I don't know if this will help. Hot air into the left hand, so I can use the tweezers with the right hand. And let's see if this comes off. At least if I melt it or anything, I'll know not to use so much heat on the replacement one, okay? I've got a hold of it. Nothing yet. It's coming. There. This little piece came off. Right. While this is hot, we'll add just a little bit more flux and we'll try some braid, and we're going to clean up the solder and hope that all the pads are still there. So I have my soldering iron on 380, which is what I normally use it with. I'll add a little bit of fresh solder. This is leaded solder. Okay, take the braid. I'll add flux to the braid as well, actually, before I use it. This helps. Okay, let's see. So, just gently press it against. I'm not sliding it up. I'm not sliding it along. I'm just effectively just resting on it. Okay. There's a little bit left, I can see where it is. I'll try warming it up a little bit again and then just try to gently let the braid hover across it. I'm also going to cut a very small bit of braid, plenty of flux. Okay. Little dab of fresh solder on the tip, and then let's just touch it and very gently just move the braid, practically putting no pressure on it, just resting it against there. Okay, right. Let's see what we've got. I think I can see two more that are not unsoldered, not cleaned. Right, okay, I think I can see one more down here. There somewhere. Okay, let's try that. I've cleaned this off with isopropyl alcohol. It's not quite free of all the old solder yet, so I've took a little bit more braid. I'm going to go again with the soldering iron, touch of solder on that. This appears to be the remnants of the glue that we're holding the board down underneath. I may just have to remove some of these bits that have kind of curled up to get the board to sit flat when I put it back in. Maybe not, we'll see. So I'm going to go once again with the soldering iron. Okay, I'm going to just warm this up a little bit first. You can see the braids floating around in the flux. That's fine. I think you can probably see where the solder didn't move itself fully last time. Okay, little touch of fresh solder, and then we go on the braid, let it warm up, and it should move freely across the pads. If it doesn't move freely, you don't have it warm enough. Also a little bit more flux won't hurt, you can't really use too much with this. Okay, let's get our braid again. This is the same technique you use when you're reballing BGA chips and you need to just get the old solder off. So basically the same technique. That's going nicely now. Okay, I see at least one pad still. Sorry, I'm just trying to keep this in shot for you guys there. Okay, yeah, I just see one pad sort of around here. Again, wait till the heat goes into it, and then move the braid. Okay, that is pretty clean now. You kind of get to the point where you wish you just left it alone. Okay, that is pretty good. Right, let's clean this up again. You can see I've lost a little bit of the foamy stuff from there with the heat probably. Right, so there are our pads, nice and clean, all intact. So far so good. Now we need to attach this thing. I think this is where the fun starts, is getting this to line up. So I'm going to get this under the optical microscope. I think I can see, in fact I can see, that there are like two holes, one at each end, sort of like there, and those must be the guides that actually line it up. So let's get this under the microscope. I think the problem is going to be to hold this in place. Oh, and also look, I can see the pads through the holes in here as well. But the problem is going to be holding this in place, I think, while I at least tack it down with some solder. The trickiest part of this, I think, is going to be to get this thing into position. So under the microscope now, I hope you have it in good focus. It drifts a bit on the microscope, but you can see there's like a dot which you line up in these two holes. Yeah, and I think you can see now, I'll just check the focus. If I hold this flat, that you can see through the holes in each of the pads on the ribbon, and you can see through to the pads underneath. Let's see if I can show you that. Yeah, there. So I need to hold this in this position while I solder it. I think the easiest way to do it is to clamp the PCB again to this little metal case cover, yeah, and then use some tweezers like this type. So these are the ones that kind of like clip on and hold. Anti-tweezers, I don't know what you call these things. I have some of them. I've never really used them, but I think they'll be ideal for this. In fact, that's stuck quite well to there. So I'm going to add some flux to the pads, push this down so I can see the flux coming through the holes, And if I use a kind of a tacky flux, it might help to keep it in place while I get some of these tweezers on. I have a few different types, so we can try them. And I also have this sort that has like a little slider in here, so when you slide the slider down, it locks. So we'll use these, I think, and let's see if we can get this thing in place. Yes, I think I have that. So if I put a bit of pressure on this, I think you can see that the flux comes up through the holes. Okay. So I'm now going to just use a soldering iron to warm this and see if I can get it to stick. I'll probably have to add a little bit more flux on the top to do this. But I'm confident enough that's actually in the right position. Let's look at that one. Yeah, maybe just down slightly at this edge. You can see the little silver thing there. Okay. Yeah, oops, I've knocked it. This is quite easy to knock, guys, you can see. Yeah, just loosen this one a little bit. Line it back up there. Okay, so this is it really, you know, this is it now. Let's tap this on and let's see if we have it positioned correctly. Yeah, it looks good. So a bit of flux just to really stop the solder from kind of like clogging across various pins, bridging the pins, yeah. I think I'll use this. I mean, I might be better with my C210 soldering iron. It's finer, but let's see what we can do. Let's look at the other one as well. Let's decide. Yeah, I think this is going to be better for this job. So, soldering iron at 380. This is 0.2mm. I'll just give it a quick clean. Okay. This is a C210 tip. Let's try. Well, you can see I've actually got some solder on there. I'm pretty confident of actually tagging those ones on. Bit of a bridge there. More flux. And I'll try to get some at this end as well. Okay. So no solder on the actual tip now, just the flux in there. That's better. I have to add some at this end. Flux. A little bit of solder. Okay. That doesn't want to solder, so I'm going to warm this area up a little bit with the hot air. Okay. So quite often if the job won't take any solder, you just need to warm it up a little bit first. Again, more flux. A little bit more heat still. Okay, but it's definitely working. I'll just get one or two more. I should be able to take these clamps off here. Yeah. So I think I can actually remove these now. No. clearly that is not the case. Right, I'm going to try the other soldering iron. I am a bit more familiar with the T12 with the BC3. I know how this tends to behave, so let's try it. Okay. That looks far better to me. Same with the other end. So this is a case where I felt perhaps I did need to use the fine tip soldering iron, and I was wrong. Yeah, a little bit of solder on the iron. Okay, come again. I think that has it. I'll try to get it somewhere in the middle as well, somewhere here. Again, warm the area up. Yeah, a little bit of fresh solder, just clean the end of that. A little bit of fresh solder, there we go. Yeah, that's got it, I think. Go along here. Right, I'll let that just cool down a moment and I should be able to remove those clamps now and then solder everything else. Okay, so here's the moment of truth. No. This is proving far more tricky than I thought. I think the problem here is I'm not getting enough heat through the ribbon to actually solder it to the board. Okay. Again. Hold this a little bit longer. Same with the other end. Hold it for a few seconds. Maybe I'm just being too timid with it, yeah? Right, so we're getting a bit of fresh solder. Come on to here somewhere. Hold it a bit longer. Try to keep it flat against it. Let's do the rest of them. A bit more solder. A few more seconds. Okay. One more go. Right, I'll let that cool down. I'm going to clean it up now with a bit of ISO so I can actually see better what we've got here. And let's see if it's soldered this time. Okay, so that's cleaned up now with a bit of ISO. Let's see if this is actually attached now. Well, I think it is. Yeah, see a bit, that's the hole where the little markers, the line is up there and there. Just a bit of ISO still down there. Take the other one off. Okay. As best I can tell, that is attached. It's certainly lined up. Okay. So I think that's attached. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get Yuri to come in because he actually dismantled this. He's more familiar with these Apple products than I am. And I'm sure Yuri will be happy to come on with me on a video. So let's put this together, make another short follow-up, and we can see if this actually worked or not. And this will be a good thing because I'm sure you'll be happy to meet Yuri. He's one of the good guys. He's in a similar field to me. And I think you may see more of him also. Okay, hope you enjoyed that. Look forward to seeing you all soon on another Learning Electronics Repair video. Ciao for now, guys.